Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be speaking about possible players that could be coming during the summer transfer window. So let's begin. As we all know, the MLS as of recent has signed many high profile players that have had decent to great careers in Europe. The most recent example that I can think of is Antoine Griezmann joining Orlando City. And today we're going to be speaking about players that I could see coming over to Major League Soccer during this summer transfer window. Either players who are playing in the World Cup, maybe for the last time in their career, or players that nearly missed out on the World Cup and for the next World Cup cycle, they probably couldn't make it. So right now it seems like the best possible chance for MLS teams to sign them. So today I'm going to be speaking about all of this, so let's get on with the video. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to like and subscribe, because it is very important that you guys like and subscribe so you guys can never miss another video. Also, do not forget to follow me on X and on TikTok so you guys can never miss another video. So let's get on with the video. First, let's start off with David Alaba. So Alaba is going to be playing in his first and most likely will be his last World Cup. Age is caught up with him now. Injuries and these last couple of seasons at Real Madrid really have not looked at his best at all. And he's clearly lost a step, but still he is one of the most iconic Austrian players of all time. He has also had many iconic moments above Real Madrid and obviously Bayern Munich, where he played most of his prime at. But the most iconic moment for me has to be that moment where he lifted that chair after Real Madrid eliminated Man City in the Champions League, when it was that insane comeback with the goals from Rodrigo. But still, I think that David Alaba was probably not worth a DP spot, but I've seen him have rumors with Charlotte and many other teams, so I think if he does not come in as a DP and just comes in as a regular player, which I could definitely see because he's played in Europe for so long and earned so much money, I think that'll be a good deal. And obviously David Alaba, I think, is one of those guys that has always wanted to live in America, so this could be a genius move if he is paid the right value. Next, I'm going with Paulo Dybala. Paulo Dybala, unfortunately for him and for many fans out there, he never really reached his what many people thought he was gonna be when he reached that Champions League final with Juventus in 2017. He obviously was never the face of the Argentina national team like many people thought, but still he managed to win a World Cup with Argentina in 2022. But unfortunately he didn't play because Lionel Messi was basically a similar player, but he did everything that Paulo Dybala could do, but way better. So, but still, he's had a great career in Italy, and these last couple of seasons, he struggled with injuries and some inconsistency, but still, he's a big name, and this last season was pretty decent from him. So I think he could be a great player in the MLS, and depending on the market, and I think he's probably worth a DP spot too. I think that'll be a genius move for any MLS team. Next, I'm going with Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. So Giovanni Lo Celso was not called up for Argentina for this World Cup. I don't think he's as high profile of a name. He's obviously not when compared to the other people on this list. He's obviously not he was never an elite player, but still he was a pretty good player in Europe for many years, and he also played with Argentina for a couple of years too and won some silverware with them. But I think this could be a pretty decent move for any MLS team. I remember Inter Miami had some recent transfer rumors with him during the start of the season. I don't know if they're still interested in him, but I still do think that he could be a high value midfielder in the MLS for any franchise. It depends on the market, but I could definitely see him being a DP in Major League Soccer. He had a pretty decent season where he helped Real Betis reach the Champions League. So yeah. Next, I'm going with Robert Lewandowski. So Robert Lewandowski is obviously not the player that he once was when he first joined Barca, or when he should have won a Ballon d'Or with Bayern Munich. but still, I think he's worth a DP spot just because he's such a big name, and he also had a pretty decent season last season, considering that he's like over 35 years old. He nearly scored 20 goals across all competitions. I know the guy's playing with one of the best, if not the best attacker in the world, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Fermin Lopez, Pedri, Dani Olmo. He's got a lot of options to feed him, but still, he had a pretty decent season last season, and I think he could give one or two very good seasons in Major League Soccer for any team out there. He's had rumors with Chicago Fire. I know that they got Ugo Kuipers, but they wouldn't. I don't think they would. I'm from Chicago, or from the Chicago area, but I don't think we would mind to have two very good strikers. So I think Robert Lewandowski could be a DP for any team in Major League Soccer. Next, I'm going with Casemiro. This could be a very likely transfer during this summer transfer window. It's already confirmed that he will be leaving Manchester United after the World Cup because I don't think he's got much to give, at least in the high level. But I think he could give it 2 or 3 very good seasons at any MLS team. And he's had recent transfer rumors with Inter Miami, and I think he could help out a lot for their team, especially defensively, where the team has struggled a lot. And I think having someone like Casemiro could help out a lot. And he's also not going to be coming in as a DP, which is basically a steal because you're having a very good midfielder, a very good destroyer. One of the best defensive mids of his generation is going to be joining Inter Miami. I know he's not the player that he once was with Real Madrid, but he's had a pretty good season last season with Manchester United, and he's still a pretty important player to Brazil. So I think his transfer to Inter Miami could help their team out a lot. The next player on this list will be Bernardo Silva. I don't know if this transfer were to happen. I do not know. There's a possibility, but I really do not see this happening. I think any MLS team would probably have to pay him a buttload of money just for this to happen. It's already confirmed that he's going to leave Man City because it was basically confirmed near the end of the season. He's one of the players that's going to leave. Obviously, Pep Guardiola, their manager, is also going to be leaving. But Bernardo Silva, I do not know if this is going to happen. He's probably going to go to another European team. There's been rumors of Juventus with some La Liga teams. I think he's still somebody who could give immense value to any team in Europe. But it will still be pretty cool if an MLS team manages to sign him. He's basically still in his prime. He's a very important player to Portugal still. And he had a pretty decent season with Man City. I do not know if this is going to be possible, but if it does happen, I think it could be a very good transfer for this era of Major League Soccer. Next, I'm going with Mohamed Salah. So Salah, it's already confirmed that he's going to be leaving Liverpool during the summer transfer window. He's currently a free agent. Both Liverpool and the player have come to an agreement that he's going to leave during the summer transfer window. They decided to cut his contract a year short. He had a lot of problems with the manager over there at Liverpool. So, yeah, I think he could help out any team in the MLS. I think he's still a very good player, and I think it's basically a very dumb decision from Liverpool and their staff from letting some manager just decide to disrespect one of their best players in the club's history and decided just to basically kick him out. I remember the season before this one, he was amazing. He was one of the contenders for the Ballon d'Or. He scored a buttload of goals. I really do not understand this decision from Liverpool. I think he still could have helped out a team for 1 or 2 more seasons at least. But I think Mohamed Salah, I think he's definitely worth a DP spot. He's a high-profile name. He's a player that could give immense value to any MLS team. I've seen San Diego have rumors of him. I heard there's some rumors that Andres Dreyer could leave after the World Cup. So I could definitely see Mohamed Salah definitely joining. I think a lot of it will depend on if Chucky Lozano ends up leaving as well. But if Mohamed Salah joins Major League Soccer during this point of his career, where he could probably give any team in Europe 1 or 2 very good seasons, I think this will be an immense transfer from Major League Soccer. Next, I'm going with Christian Pulisic. So this kind of feels like you cannot avoid talking about it because Pulisic he's going to be a hot discussion after this World Cup, especially if he has a good tournament. Right now, he's like in the prime moment for the MLS just to sign him for any MLS team. With the 2026 World Cup, also with him having the worst stretch of form in his European career so far, at least when it comes to his prime. And he's obviously right now in his prime, but he had one of the worst stretches of his career right now during the start of the year with AC Milan. He managed to start the season very hot. Then the second half was just very, very cold. And right now he just started scoring again with the national team. If he has a good World Cup, I could definitely see him some MLS rumors. However, I do not see this happening. I think Christian Pulisic would at least want to play in one World Cup before going over to Major League Soccer. The earliest I could see is probably after the Copa America or the Olympics in 2028. But anything before that, I really do not see it happening because I think Pulisic is going to be a player that's going to want to play in at least 3 World Cups. And that's what I hope so. I think he's my favorite USMNT player of all time. I grew up watching him. I remember him watching him during the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, although the USMT did miss the tournament, but still, Pulisic was the only bright spot on that team. Then I remember the whole road to Qatar, then the road to 2026. So I hope he stays in Europe for as long as he can, so he can play in at least one World Cup because he's just my favorite USMT player of all time. I'm gonna finish this video off with Neymar. So Neymar is a player that I hope MLS signs, and there's been serious rumors with many MLS teams, with Chicago Fire, with Inter Miami, of course, with the New York teams, with the LA teams. I just hope that Neymar just goes to this league just because I think after Ronaldo and Messi, Neymar is the third best player of the generation that I grew up watching. Neymar is the last player that reminds me of Joga Bonito, of how Brazilian football or soccer should be played. Something unexpected should always be happening, and Neymar is the definition of it just because of how when you watch him play, you do not know what to expect. A fancy touch, a fancy dribble, a fancy pass. Something unexpected will always happen with Neymar. Of course, he's not the same player that he once was when he was with Barcelona or PSG, but he's still a very good player, and there was a reason why Carlo Ancelotti called him up. I was kind of surprised, but I think this is the right move for Brazil. I think he's a player that could still help out the Brazilian national team, even if he comes out as a sub. So I feel like Neymar is a player that on marketability alone should be one of the prime targets for Major League Soccer. But of course, he is still a player that can contribute to any MLS team. If you see what he did with Santos, you understand Santos was one of the worst teams before he signed. Then he managed to help them stay out of relegation. And although he's injury prone now, but he's still a player that can change the game, especially in a level like Major League Soccer. But still, he's a player that he has a huge image, and I think after Ronaldo and Messi, I think Neymar has the third biggest image for a soccer player in the world. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.